Ba-ba-ba-ba, oh, hello. Welcome. It's the June watch list video. As you can see, we're doing something way more different this time. I'm trying a new thing where I look gross on camera and super sweaty. I'm experimenting right now. I hope it works out, and I hope you like it. It's so hot. Yeah, it's in the middle of summer, and I've been putting off filming in the space where I film, which is my room, and it gets super just sweaty and gunky and gross in the summer. And yeah, I was not looking forward to filming this, to be honest, but I'm still gonna do it anyway because your boy likes to be consistent. I'm just gonna do it a little differently. We're gonna try to do it like one cut, one style, just super dirty, in the mud. I don't know why I said that metaphor. That was kind of weird. Anyways, oh, I should do the thing. 3, 2, 1, pop. 2022. Okay, I did the thing. Introductions are done. We all know what it is. Let's talk about some movies. You're gonna have to excuse my loud ass chair, by the way. I haven't like lubricated it or anything. Is that a thing you do to chairs? You lubricate? I guess so. A little double WD-40 every now and then. You can never have too much lube. Jackass 4.5. So I saw Jackass Forever just kind of like earlier. I think I didn't mention that on a watch list, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, Jackass 4.5. More Jackass, more dicks, more buttholes, more bodily fluids. I think it's important to note that for some odd reason, Netflix does not, at least Netflix Canada, does not have all of the Jackass movies. Like Jackass Forever, I think, is the only one that's missing. It has 4.5 though, which is the behind the scenes video. And this is pretty much what it is. It's a glorified behind the scenes video that could just be a DVD extra. It's on Netflix, so you can check it out. I would watch Forever first though, because this is just essentially a lot of interviews and just some bits that were cut out. The bits themselves are good. There are some obvious ones or some alternative takes. It's like, okay, yeah, that understandable that they took that out. But I think if you like Jackass Forever specifically, but you also just like the Jackass crew in general, there is stuff to like. Why would you not watch this, right? Hustle. This is a pleasant sports film with a lot of cameos. The new Adam Sandler Netflix movie, kind of this, I want to say Sandler-sance, right? We had Uncut Gems a few years back that was really, really great. I actually really loved that film. And now we have Hustle, which is not as good, but it's okay. It's fine. It's especially great if you're a fan of basketball. Sandler in particular is good, and the actual basketball scenes feel relatively grounded without the need to employ too many cliches that you see in other sports movies. Like, you don't really see any last second buzzer beaters or weird injury stuff like, oh, I'm injured, you gotta get off the bench and play type scenes. It's all relatively grounded. I think the film gets a little overboard though when it comes to the casting, specifically Kenny the Jet Smith is in this film, and he doesn't play Kenny the Jet Smith. You have so many other NBA stars, NBA legends that are playing themselves. Kenny Smith is just playing, I think his name is Leon, but you see him and it's just like, that's just Kenny Smith, you know? So that was a little distracting, but overall, it's one of Sandler's better films. The Lost City. Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum. For me, this is hit or miss. Bullock and Tatum have chemistry and they're both very funny on an individual level, but I didn't really laugh too much outside of a few of the slapstick parts of the film. There's some verbal jokes in this film where it just kind of feels like they're riffing, and I don't think it's very successful during those scenes. But The Lost City feels like a movie from the early 2000s, and it feels dated in all the worst ways. I think there are some movies that are able to channel that early 2000s movie energy and be very entertaining. The Lost City, unfortunately, is not one of those films. But what is one of those films is the next movie, 21 Bridges. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. 21 Bridges is very much a vehicle for him to showcase, I think, his acting range. And I know you might think, even watching the trailers, like 21 Bridges, he's acting in this movie? Bro, he's acting in this movie. Big leading man, like judo grounds. The 21 Bridges is like a judo, it's like a dojo, and Chadwick Boseman is the Sifu. Did I just mix up things? Do they have Sifus in dojos? Anyways. Like, yeah, you have Black Panther as Boseman's defining role, and then you also had Ma Rainey's Black Bottom adding on to that like showcased his skills as an actor. But 21 Bridges I liked because it feels like, as I mentioned earlier, a film from the early 2000s. It's a very generic setup. Cop in Manhattan trying to catch some crooks. So what does he do? He locks down all of the bridges going out of Manhattan. This is really generic, standard stuff, but it's really entertaining. There is some Denzel Washington energy that Chadwick Boseman is channeling here that I really love. Like, if anything, you're watching this movie for him. And it's exactly what I expected. It's exactly what I expected, and I can't fault it for that. Good movie. Cut. Your boy had to just dab the sweat a little bit, because I am sweating. Again, it is hot in this room, but like a southern gentleman, I had to do a little bit of perspiration control. Anyways, AmuLAnce, or Ambulance if you are a boring person and don't like to say fun movie titles. In the trailer, Ambulance, like the L and the A are highlighted, so I like to call it AmuLAnce. Kind of like Fan4Stick when that came out. Fantastic Four? No, Fan4Stick. Way more fun to say. This is a pretty solid entry from Michael Bay. And he's still great at commanding just explosive chaos and slick camera movement. And he integrates drone cinematography in this film as well, which is very welcome. But he does get carried away with it at times. There are scenes where, like, the scene geometry is pretty well established, but Bay will insist on just using more drone shots where it just zips down buildings and across rooftops, and it adds nothing to what the audience already knows. It's like, bro, you're kind of just padding the movie. What's going on here? But yeah, if you like Michael Bay movies, I think this is actually one of his better ones. And Gyllenhaal feels like he's in a completely different movie. He is overacting here, or just really leaning into the madness of the movie, kind of depending on where you fall on Gyllenhaal. I personally loved it, but it really does feel like he is in his own movie. Great Bay entry. Spirited Away. Hey, you like Studio Ghibli movies? I like Studio Ghibli movies. I haven't seen all of them. I've been trying to see all of them. So I saw Spirited Away. The whole collection, by the way, is super accessible on Netflix if you have not seen it yet, except for Grave of the Fireflies. I think for obvious reasons, but that's not on Netflix. But if you never checked out a Ghibli film, check it out. Getting distracted. Anyways, bit of a rewatch for me because I did see this movie when I was younger, but I think when you're young, you watch movies and it doesn't really register with you 100%. So this is a rewatch technically, but it might as well have just been a first time watching experience. The animation, two things. The animation is fantastic. Great employment of colors, lighting. It's all beautifully done, and it still holds up. And the music, the score from Joe Hisaishi. Hold on. I have it written down in my notes. Joe Hisaishi. I gotta get it right because I gotta pay respect. It's perfect. It's freaking perfect. How many movies you know that have the perfect musical score? This is one of them. Undeniable. If I could take this movie score and sort it into a line and snort it up, I would. It's really hot in my room. Red Rocket. Red Rocket. This is a movie directed by Sean Baker, indie filmmaker, who also directed Tangerine and The Florida Project. Great movies. I highly recommend them. This film is about Mikey Saber, has-been porn star, just kind of making his way through this small Texas town. And that's pretty much the movie. That's pretty much what this movie is about. It's not like super boring or anything. Like, events unfold in the film, But it is essentially that. I almost want to say it's almost like a hangout movie, but I think what Sean Baker's getting at in this film is really just getting into the psychology and the headspace of the main character. That's the real meat of this film. It's a character study, and that aspect of it, just getting into Mikey's personality and who he is, and like what gets him through today and how he does it, is probably the most interesting part of the film. With that said, Simon Rex is perfectly cast in this movie, just playing a very gross and opportunistic person. He does it fantastically here. I saw him last maybe in Scary Movie 3, and that's how I recognized him. It's like, oh, that's the guy from Scary Movie 3. So to see him acting his ass off is just really impressive. Sean Baker also just has a really great eye for backdrops too. There are donut shops, there are strip clubs, even grass in this movie is super colorful, super vibrant, and it just juxtaposes really well with both the grossness of the character, but also the sparseness of this small Texas town that it all takes place in. All right, let's get into TV before I pass out from heat stroke in my room. We Own This City. Who owns this city? We own this city. The new show from David Simon, who created The Wire. I have not checked out The Wire. I heard really great things about The Wire. I need to check out The Wire because I love this show, We Own This City. This show is great because of how authentic it feels at really making sure that the audience has the context and the understanding of corruption within a police department and how that can start, and also how it can go unchecked for so long. There are times when the show feels more like a docudrama though, and it feels like the show is talking to the audience rather than, I guess, creating a drama out of it. Don't get me wrong, it is a drama, but there are parts of the show where it feels almost like a documentary. I think it's easier to watch the show to kind of get what I'm saying here, but it is not 100% like a dramatization, but it also, I feel, doesn't really fully commit to the drama aspect of the show. Like, exposition does feel heavy at times, and dialogue will simply be as simple as one character asking multiple questions to another character and them answering it. But with that said, I think there is a educational factor to this show because it is based off of true events in Baltimore. There's an educational aspect that is undeniable, and John Barenthal just kicks ass in this. Well, not in a good way. Like, I don't want to glorify what he does in this show, but he's also just really great as well. So I think the educational aspect, and I would also say the authenticity of it, really, really great. I really love this show. Stranger Things 4, the big one. I actually have not a lot to say about this season in particular, other than it's a great season. It's really great. It's 9 episodes. All of them are long as shit, but it's tightly edited and paced to make every scene not feel like filter. I actually think that every episode was really good at just being efficient with its time. The cast is really dialed in too at this point. Like Noah Schnapp and Sadie Sink specifically for me this season were standouts. I also thought that the CGI was good too, and as it should be. Netflix poured a lot of money into this show. It's like a tentpole series, and I don't know. I think that's a worthy thing to say because CGI in Netflix productions can be hit or miss, but not in Stranger Things. Nuh-uh. I'd say specifically for 11 though, just like one note, like for 11, she has some scenes where they do, I don't want to like spoil it, but 11 has some scenes where she has CGI on her and 1 or 2 moments where they do close-ups, and it's a little like, there's some like Star Wars shit going on. They de-age her. I don't think that's a spoiler. They de-age her and it doesn't look... But that's like the only main thing that I have to say. Other than that, Stranger Things, Season 4, great season. I really loved it. Firing on all cylinders. The final show, Barry. I love it. I love it. I love this show. You go watch it. It's great. I love the direction that this show is heading in. It used to be more of a comedy, but this season it's kind of just getting a bit more darker, kind of going the same road that Breaking Bad did, where it was funny earlier on, but it slowly just kind of snowballed into more darker and complex and more cerebral subject matter. There are still laugh out loud moments in the show, though. Don't get me wrong, despite venturing into more darker territory. And I think that is a testament to the writing of the show, that it is able to have these really funny moments, but also contrast that with these really, I almost want to say, not themes that haven't been explored before in shows like this, but just you wouldn't have expected, I guess, if you like watched from season one. Anyways, I just kind of feel like that's the direction that modern comedy shows head into. It's like they always start funny, but then eventually, as the seasons go on, it is inevitable that they just start becoming a little bit more darker, a little bit more serious, and like performance takes precedence. Just because the characters start getting better and getting good. I think that's kind of what's going on with Succession in a way. I don't know. Has Succession? Yeah, Succession's still like kind of funny, kind of dark, kind of a drama. Wow, got so distracted on that one. Barry, please watch it if you haven't. I highly recommend it. Okay, that is all the stuff that I saw in June. I am sweating right now so bad, like in my shirt and on my forehead, but we got through it. You and me. When the July watch list video is going to come out, hopefully on time and hopefully not super late like this. But hey, thank you for your time. If you want to see what I'm watching and keep up to date with that in real time, you can check out my letterbox, or you can check my Twitter, because I do tweet like a madman. My tweets are pretty hot. These are blue light glasses, by the way. I don't actually need them. They were sliding off my face so bad. Oh my gosh. Because my face is wet. Because I'm sweating. Because your boy's real hot and toasty. Okay, thank you for your time. Bye.